Hello everyone, my name is Decalink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. On the last one, we started chapter 4. Oh, is it chapter 4? I don't remember. It's the next chapter, wherever it is. It's called Loss. I hope we don't lose much. I hope we don't lose. I need to lose weight. I know that's what I need to lose. I need to lose some of this. Some of this. How many more times would I see this apartment before I return to my own world? Or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day, and tried to shake off those thoughts. Oh, someone's at the door! Who is it gonna be? Oh, it's Sebastian. Hey, Pierce. And right on the minute. You show up this time every day like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I've got something for you. An envelope from the facility. Well, these are results from the tests Anna ran on my blood. She must have sent this before she was... No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the test results will be able to help us. Let's see, remarkable similarities in genetic makeup, particularly the brain structure. Oh, I suppose that isn't the only reason you're here. The chief will explain everything once we get there, so let's not keep him waiting, shall we? Oh, he's back? Or maybe this is... I almost called her Madame Esperanza. We arrived at the place that looked like an ordinary house. Had it not been for its extraordinary size, it reminded me more of a hostel than a family home. Oh God. Chief?
There you are.
Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emera?
Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week.
I see.
Anyway, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Razor broke into the hatchery. There's another murder victim. An employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There's evidence of a struggle, but she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found, and she has numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds from the previous victims and the other weapon he has. At this point, news of another corpse didn't even have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Reza's faceless victims. A hatchery? Is that what this building is? Well, not only. It's a council-owned building, and they like keeping everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. There's also offices related to the administration of both of those services. It reminds me of the production facility. It should. They have similar management structure. Can we get back to the case?
Sorry for the interruption, Chief. Wait a minute. If an orphanage is in there too...
Oh no! There are no other casualties, but Reza got something else than when he broke in. A generator as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened to all the other eggs left inside. But needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy.
Why would he steal eggs in the first place?
Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here, after all.
I don't know. I don't have no idea why he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal is still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for safe passage through the portal? Maybe. It's still broken, though, so I'm not sure if that would be much help. Maybe he has the part needed to repair it, and now he has everything he needs to escape. He could trade the eggs for safe passage, fix the portal, and leave. And that's not the only possibility. He may not have been the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as a bargaining chip to get you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already.
It doesn't even matter who sabotaged the portal. We only know that Reza's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him. Maybe it means that he'll slip up soon. Who knows, maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully some of the test results will tell us something.
After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information. So what do we do now? Go over the timeline again?
Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. Question. Did they not get blood from the first victim that had blood on the teeth? They didn't get any DNA from that? Seems like that would have been helpful. What do you have in mind? Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Now who could that be? Oh. A big fat hermaphrodite with a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. Come in. If it's just Reza, like, hey, what's up, guys? Maverick, what are you doing here?
Chief, can I talk to you alone?
We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about?
Reza.
Well, if you're looking for... Well, you're looking at the Reza Task Force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us.
I see. I think I know where Reza is.
You know where Reza is at this very moment?
I have good reason to believe that I have the location of his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have already moved on.
Damn, Maverick, tell me everything.
I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was at the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him, and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, where he's been hiding, where he's been, and where his victims have been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs a base to hide the generators and everything he's stolen.
Bryce cleared the clutter on the table and smoothed out a map of where the town is on its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it.
Show it to me. Prior victims were found here and here. Today's was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal and when I followed him a few days ago. So we've established that this is his area of operation. Extrapolated, and we can narrow it down to this. Now, where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village borders, so unless he decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole in the ground, the only option's here.
The abandoned farm. When did you figure all this out?
Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here.
Damn it, Maverick, this might be it.
Should we send an observation team?
As if we had one to spare. Heck, we're going there right now. What about you, Maverick?
I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw a razor right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't.
How about you, Pierce? Isn't it going to be dangerous? Razor probably wouldn't harm you, as you're the only one he could possibly consider an ally.
Good point. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. Or we could act like we intend to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. You're not really going to use me as ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along.
I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it'd be messing up with you.
We have the element of surprise if we walk into his base right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go.
I guess we won't need Pierce there for that, though.
True enough.
Alright, Pierce, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without us telling you to, understand?
Okay.
Alright, then let's go, Sebastian.
After you, Chief.
And Maverick, good job.
Thanks, Chief.
Take me with you. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Oh, and he's gone. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang, but not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce. I picked it up.
Pierce?
Yes?
I think you need to come here. I'll give you directions.
No problem.
Oh, that was fucking worth it. There you are.
So what happened?
A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the house building in the time we've been watching.
He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep. If that's the case, it would be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Or maybe he's not even there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed, with plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here.
You're right. Either he's still inside or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in.
What should I do?
What should I do? Man, fuck.
Got it with the right inflection.
You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape.
I'm on it, Chief.
I go in, you stay here, alright? What am I even here for then? You're our insurance. If Reza tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him. Or if we get into a standoff, I can tell you you're here as well. I just don't want you to come inside when it could be dangerous.
I don't think that works, because if I'm out here and he's in there, then what the fuck? I need to be there! Let me go in first. Why? Maybe I can talk to him. Maybe we can figure things out. I don't think he wants to kill me, so even if it doesn't work out, Sebastian and you will be nearby to catch him.
It's a very good point, and all, but it's just too dangerous for you to go inside. I can't let anything happen to you, so we'll do as I said. Wait here.
No! God damn it! Watch as Bryce made his way to the front door. Looking around, I scanned the windows of the building for any signs of movement. When Bryce reached the door, I wondered how he would make his entry. Would he try to be quiet and sneak around, hoping that Reza would be unprepared? Would he barge in and rely on his strength and speed to apprehend him? Though shortly after Bryce opened the door, an earth-shattering sound echoed across the sky. Oh shit! Bryce! No way. No way is he... I can't believe he's really gone. I'm sorry, Pierce, I just don't know what to say. Well, responsibility falls on me now. Reza's still out there somewhere. I know I should have gone in first, you mother... In this case, you're just beyond our capabilities. We were already at bare minimum before this, with Bryce gone. No, 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 no. Is he fucking... we should do now. I've already requested help from one of the cities. I hope they'll send us some good investigators on our way as soon as possible. At least we reclaimed everything that was stolen. Well, except for the eggs. I don't want to have to explain to their parents how the children were killed in the explosion. Oh, shit. All the generators were just sitting there. Makes me think that Reza must have left in a hurry. And we got so close, too. It was his hideout, for crying out loud. Probably just saw us approaching and left before we even had a chance to apprehend him. But you know what? We can't stop now. If anything, this has only proven that he's even more dangerous than we thought. If Reza can make bombs out of generators, who's to say where he'll use them next? We have to stop him, Pierce. Are you with me? Yes. Go. Bryce is really dead. And Bree's listening to something loud in the bathroom. Damn it! Regardless of Bryce's death, we have to try our best to proceed with the investigation, for his memory and for the sake of the town. At least Reza doesn't have any generators for now. All the stolen ones were accounted for inside the building. God damn it! Let's see what else we have. When we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. You really think that's his? That's what we need to find out, but given all we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it to the lab for us to find out more. Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. They really killed off Bryce. They really did it. They really fucking killed him. So all that shit about his childhood and... going. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we have reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to do it than any of our departments. No problem. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave this stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest when I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Pierce. You too. Let's do the bandage to the facility. It seems to be a good idea. I hope this is the right place. There he is again. What was the voice I gave this guy? I don't remember. Can I help you? I'm just dropping off this evidence on behalf of the police. From the Razor case, right? I already read the memo. Yeah, well, here you go. Thanks, I'll get right to it. I guess next should be the PDA. And look at Remy is here. Why would Remy be here? We've never seen Remy here. Excuse me. Can I help you? Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music. Sorry, I have no idea how to work here. Oh, don't worry about it. The staff all seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyway, have a good day. You too. It's weird. Maybe Remy is somewhere in the back or his office. Hello? You know, this section is usually for staff only. I'm just looking for Remy. I'm supposed to drop off this PDA. Well, he's not working today. Apparently he has other engagements. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home. Can't I just leave the PDA here? Well, I'm not going to take responsibility if it gets lost, so if you want to drop it off, then go find him. Okay. By the way, I hope you do not take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I am glad that you're still here. Remember, I said I believed you when you told me your side of the story. I always have to do what's in the public's best interest, and now they will not blame me if you have any connection with Razor. I hope you can understand that. Here is Remy's address in case you need it. Thank you. It's a nice place. Oh, it's you. I don't think this is a good time for you to visit right now, though. I just came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emra refused to let me drop it off there. I see. Oh, it's one of your PDAs. I was really looking forward to this. Well, here you go. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy. Well, I hope he was okay. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have some things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See ya. Jesus. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found the strength leaving me, and I collapsed to the floor. What the fuck? The fuck is this? Next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. Oh, you son of a bitch. You're even short like Reza.
I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you it was the easiest way.
Where am I? Is this your hideout?
Just a temporary accommodation, so we can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently. Do you know who I am?
Well, you're not Reza.
Good. What did it take for you to figure that out?
Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it clearly in your voice. I had a feeling that it couldn't be him since the first time we met, though.
Which first time are you talking about?
The generator in the cellar when you pushed me.
I see. You can call me the administrator.
Well, the humans are supposed to be here, though. I assume that's why you're wearing the mask, so you don't want to get recognized.
That is correct.
Whoever you are, you also saved my life.
On more than one occasion.
Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You couldn't have come through the portal. The dragons would have noticed.
This is where you are wrong. My arrival through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place.
Is that so?
When I crawled out from the hole in the earth and had hid the portal, there were no guards there to discover me. My appearance exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet.
So you arrived even before Reza. That makes you the actual first human to come to this world.
That is more true than you might think.
Just who are you then?
I may have arrived through the portal like you, but my story is very different. Before the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of a team that was formed to create bioweapons. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where their development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. The weapons were planned to be a low-cost alternative for poor countries to wage war, so they would no longer have to rely on expensive drones and machines for warfare. I was to set up the lab where our bioweapon development would take place. It was a clandestine operation, set to be in the middle of the wilderness. The laboratory was an independent research and living unit, and provided everything we needed without having to rely on external resources or even an existing power grid. Everything was to be teleported right into the middle of nowhere, with no traces or paper trail to follow, so international communities and law enforcement would have no idea of our operations. Our only connection to the outside world, after setup, would have been a two-way portal to our headquarters, who would provide everything we needed. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting a whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was matter compression technology, incredibly expensive, but operating in the gray market was also very lucrative. The technology behind it was much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes with a beginning and an end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes is very complicated to begin with, but this ship required much more finesse and thus was much more expensive. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab and the portal so that the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it is possible to use a portal to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it is not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there. But as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous. A single variable off by a fraction could mean the difference between landing safely at your destination and smothering in space. Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen, not necessarily for my own sake, but because of the unfathomably expensive experiment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong anyway. Despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk was a fraction of a fraction, sometimes you're just that unlucky. And sometimes it turns out your bad luck is a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not a destination that had been planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare the building. I would have shelter, and then I could begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into working order would take more time, as it was a complicated process that could take several weeks. If things had gone wrong as I suspected, I would at least be able to establish contact with headquarters after the portal had been set up, and I would be able to return. While teleporting the lab to the wrong location was certainly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I had arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago. We knew that by utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was a theoretical possibility. It was something even my company didn't dare to attempt, though, as teleportation in itself was still a very new technology. Yet here I was, 65 million years in the past, with a research station all to myself. The company would revel in the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. If only they knew about them. I spent a few weeks setting up the portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish contact with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present. For a black hole, sending something through the time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals, we gave them a specialized configuration. It was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis. That meant that I, in the past, would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterparts in the present, though, would not be able to find me in the past, even if they tried. But I couldn't find them. Not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its function, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, the portals from the company should have been there to connect with. It was then that I had a terrible realization. The portals in the present didn't exist anymore, or were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting the lab caused them to reconsider the risks of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they had decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that they would have immediately shut down every single portal and left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places in the present. In my mind, only one... Jesus Christ! Fuck you! In my mind, only one possibility remained. Superweapons. Various nations had been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think the threats had become that serious. One of them must have launched their weapon and destroyed the majority of Earth. It could have been a result of a malfunction, or perhaps a political situation had escalated. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. I could have sent myself back to the present with the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavor, as I also had to ask myself if it was a present I wanted to return to. I was sure that if anything was even left of our world, the aftermath or a possible retaliatory strike, would have take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realize whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. Made my decision all the easier. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization, shaped by my own ideals. I had all the necessary data and the most modern methods and machines at my fingertips. Besides, most of the processes had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, fusing human and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal, but possessed a greater intelligence that allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to. As I didn't have any animal samples sent with me when I initially arrived, I collected them from the sources available to me. Automated processes mixed the DNA further across the samples. New abilities were added like enhanced armor, flight, and spit weapons to make the new creatures more effective in combat. The result was a number of different species, each tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in a war situation. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth. And with the lab's learning program, they could be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency, They needed the kind of knowledge that would enable them to come together as their own independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all the processes in the lab was more than helpful. I unleashed the first generation of my creation, and as their leader, I founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off, and once I saw that they could survive without my guidance, and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success. So fucked up. When I realized that the new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it. Destroyed? What are you talking about? Haven't you realized where we are? The Chicks Club asteroid is headed for us. With a diameter of over 10 kilometers, its impact will create a humongous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a literal dark age. that will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants and rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will also vanish, as will those who sought sustenance from those herbivores. All in all, 75% of all species will vanish, and in terrestrial ecosystems, all animals heavier than a single kilogram will die. That would be about 2.2 pounds, in case you didn't know. It will be the end of everyone who lives here, every single dragon you have seen, unless we do something. We? What am I supposed to do? Do you not wish to save them? I came here to help humanity. Now that you tell me that this society, this whole world, is also on the brink of extinction? That is the truth. What kind of difference could a single person like me even make to save it? Right now, it's also a single person that presents its greatest threat. Reza? How? In order to stop the comet, we will need as much power as possible.
We reclaimed all the generators he stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference for something like this?
Don't forget that Reza is still out there, looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we could gather would ever be enough. We only require enough power to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment. But even if that plan was possible, we will need every single generator we can get.
So my goal hasn't changed. I just need to find Reza.
Yes, but you'll need my help, and maybe the help of others. You know that Reza is dangerous, and with his gun, he has a clear advantage. Don't think that he wouldn't hesitate to kill you if you were in his way.
Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is?
No, but I think you'll find him soon, and you can count on my support when that happens.
I see. There's one thing that still doesn't make sense to me, though. The dragons have myths about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't seen any humans for who knows how long. How much time could have passed since you created them, and now? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence?
I don't know exactly how long it has been myself. When I realized what time period I was in, that my creation was about to be wiped out of the future, I wanted to go to that future and see what they had become. I disabled the portal's time axis safeguards and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also included that very same portal in the future. With the generators of our lab being able to supply the portal with power for an indefinite amount of time, I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and end point of the black hole would be the same place in the same portal, but the way traveled being just along the time axis. Since I could now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped.
A comet.
Exactly. I found that specific point in time and traveled to a future that was as close to that event as I could safely manage. After I arrived here, my escape from the portal's hiding place led it to its discovery by the dragons. It and the laboratory were unearthed.
I still don't understand how our portal found yours, or why we ended up arriving at this particular time period.
The portal you found was no doubt one of my company's. They must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for their connection already existed when you found it. I'm not sure if you could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards, though. Was it completely operational when you found it?
No, it took a little bit of tinkering.
Probably jumping the hardware safeguards in the process. Now consider that connecting portals travel along the time axis together. The data for their beginning and end points are adjusted automatically. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another without also sending it through time. Since these two portals must have been connected at some point, the corresponding data for the connection between these two portals already existed. When using the same connection without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between the two portals, time still progressed linearly before them. I'm not sure I understand. Let me try to rephrase that. The portal you found and my own share a connection. However, while the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is at the very moment, it is not connected to that specific point in time. For us and the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly, and we can't do anything about that. However, for the black holes, this isn't the case. Just as their entry and end points can be in different places, they can also be in different times.
In order to not send something through time when we just want to transport something from one portal to another, the portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized. Essentially, this means that ever since you arrived in this world, the same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the place where you came from. I see. So despite being in completely different time periods, time still passes linearly on both sides of the portals. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on both sides would stay connected not only to a single point in space, but also to a single point in time, thus making proper two-way communication impossible. However, this is only possible through the connection that has already been forged. If we wanted to, we could also use our portal to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Reza even arrived here. So that would mean there would be two of me, right? Wouldn't that cause a time paradox? I can only tell you that it would work. No one has studied that time travel before, though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely an entirely new timeline would be created. There would be a timeline without a Pierce altogether, and in the new one there'd be two of you. This is becoming way too complicated. I apologize. To come back to your original question, I am not sure how much time had passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how the variables translated to our perception of time. It could have been thousands or even millions of years. How could the portal or even its power source still be operational after all this time? The portal receives its power from the generator in the lab. These units were fitted with the absolute best technology we had to offer. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any other already existing networks or power lines. It gains energy from many sources: sun rays, earth's heat, and movement, just to name a few. Keep in mind it had to power a whole laboratory and research station, while also providing the energy required for all of its inhabitants and the associated energy expenditures. Taking its power from Earth itself, a generator like this could continue providing power to the lab indefinitely. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived? It seems that the dragon's society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt for their own sustenance, and as such, the original species they were based on mostly have vanished. As in direct competition, ours proved to be far superior. Also, they have probably taken measures against having big predators roam their cities and villages. Yet, while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I have found that by and large, their society as a whole has not changed much. Is that why everything here still looks like it was made for humans? I suppose so. Their learning program I initially used gave them knowledge about things and how to create them, yet of course, those are the only human inventions and designs. Did they never once stop to think that they could just adjust how certain things look? A lot of the furniture and objects I've seen look very impractical for a dragon. I was surprised at that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. The idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age. After researching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal and unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also played a role. I imagine that they were very much at odds with their learned behavior. Instincts in animals never change, and instinctual behaviors will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into their genome as an instinct, it is not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here, where I have intentionally made them learn a certain set of values and knowledge. I have found that the expression of those ideas has hardly changed. And after I was gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time. Their genome as a whole did change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones. While I can see subtle changes in behaviors as a result, some traits are still very much present in them. They are content with what they have and don't strive for more. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or new inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value tradition, and there are ways which have not changed much over the past few years. I see.
How much time do we even have left to stop the comet?
In a few weeks, the comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory towards Earth. This is when we will need to be ready. If we strike then, we only need to minimally affect its path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely. It won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Reza steals our greatest assets.
So it's all about Reza and the generators, isn't it?
Indeed. By the way, I fixed the portal in case we need to use it.
Did you break it to prevent me from being sent away?
No, that wasn't me.
Reza better not use it to escape.
Trust me, the portal is our greatest asset. I have programmed it with emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation and feel there's no other way out, go to the portal. I have made sure that only you will be able to use them.
I'll keep that in mind. So what's your plan? What do we do now? And why were you killing people? Maybe it was Reza killing people. I don't know.
I will resume my work, and you will continue yours. Find Reza.
The administrator turned to leave. Oh! Wait, what's with all this secrecy? Why are you still wearing the mask? Why don't we pull our resources together and you show me your hideout? Don't you think it would be better if you were completely frank with me?
No, not now.
Maybe it's us from a future generation or something. I don't know. A second later, the figure had already vanished into the darkness outside. Oh shit. Well, we're going to explore these deep, spooky woods in the next episode. So, thank you all very much for watching this very emotional and then all of a sudden super scientific and like, this episode very much is conflicting me. I just keep thinking about Bryce and how he's gone now. Thank you all very much for watching. It's depressing.